on right now. And we're recording. That's basically it. Microphone's on too, but you'll just have to sit there. The recording's on.
Okay.
So our voices are being picked up right now.
All right.
November, this is, let me see, November 10th, 1984.
Mm-hmm. And that is Sam Frankovitz.
Wait a minute, I just spelled the name wrong. T-I-T-Z instead of S.
You mean the name?
Yeah, F-R-A-N-K-O-I-V-T-S.
No, V-I-T-Z.
Z. But then again, at the old cemetery, it's spelled,
It is?
it's spelled wrong on it.
Okay,
Okay,
there's no difference.
okay, all right. So,
You could ask the questions about it.
yeah, I asked the questions. Questions is,
Oh, I should do it.
this should be just pretty informal. Like, you were born
And Hungary,
in Hungary?
yeah.
What year? What
1899.
Okay.
I'm 85 now, 85 years.
And what was the month?
May 10th.
Okay, so there's a good chance you'll span 3 centuries, 18, 19, and 20. Right. There's a good chance you'll make it.
I'm coming to 21 pretty soon.
So,
That is already 4 generations.
and when you were born, whereabouts in Hungary, you were born at home, right?
Oh, of course.
And how many brothers and sisters did you have?
Well, 8, one of them passed away, so we remain 7.
And 8 brothers and sisters.
3 boys and 4 girls.
And what do you remember of your mother?
She was here too in America.
She was.
Mm-hmm.
What year? Do you remember what year?
She bathed you even.
She what?
She was bathing you.
She bathed me?
Yeah.
All right.
She was here when he was born, and
In
you was
the early
born.
mid-40s. About 45.
No, wait a minute. Not her.
Could have been
Forgot.
someone else.
It was your grandmother, your mother's mother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
No, she was here in 19... wonder when it was when I went to Mexico, Peggy. You don't know that. When Dave came here, I can't remember his...
I don't know.
His mom when he come here. But,
so what? I'm gonna move this around just a minute. So your mother?
she was in Mexico, she came here.
No. Did she?
She was with David, my brother, your uncle, whatever it is.
I wondered where he was at.
Correct.
I did.
Maybe it was around 31 when I brought Dave, when Dave
You
come
want the
over here.
couch? You want it? You want it?
But when did your mother die here in America, or?
No, she went back.
Yeah.
She died in concentration camp.
And
Which
Your-
concentration camp?
and your father.
My father died in Europe.
And how old was he about when he died? Any idea?
I would say, well, a bit a minute. Oh, around 60.
About 60. And did he die of a disease or just?
Gangrene in his leg. They cut it off. He died from that.
Okay,
He
so
cut it off too late.
when you were very young, what do you remember of Europe, of Hungary, when you were like 10, 12, very young? What do you remember of your mother and your father?
Yes.
What do you remember of both of them? How was your mother?
Well, my mother was a, how you call it?
Midwife.
Midwife. My mother was a midwife. They come after from every place around the state. She was well known about that, to be a good midwife. My father was doing business, buying walnuts and apples and pears, shipping it from one state to the other.
Okay, so when you were very young, was the area that you lived quite populated? Was there a lot of people?
Yeah, it was mostly Romanians, populated with Romanians.
Jewish?
No, Romanians, that means, how you call them, those who work on the ground, on the field?
Peasants?
Peasants, yeah.
Okay.
The
So
Jewish people usually was in business, had stores.
how was it your mother and father settled there?
That was my father's town, that he was born.
Well, he was born, I see. And so what did he do for a living there?
He used to buy merchandise and sell it from one state to the other.
And
He had
then,
a butcher shop too once, you know.
and
Well,
so
it
your
just
mother
didn't
then mainly just stayed home with the kids
Just didn't
Yes.
break.
Did
No,
she-
but she went out when they called her.
to,
She was a midwife,
oh, as a midwife, okay.
yeah.
Okay, so
I
you,
scraped him with
so
pots and pans.
what made you want to come to America? How old were you?
I heard it's a good country,
Yeah.
and you could make a living here, but that was too hard to make a living. And then I ran away from the army,
So about how old were you when you left the army? And why was the army after you?
because they called them in.
Okay.
You see, a Romanian come in, took away the country. That was Hungarian. And the Romanian come and took it away. And then they called them, all those boys, all the men to the army, because they was fighting yet. And I didn't feel like going to the Romanian fighting the Hungarians. Just like taking a man, American, and let them fight the Americans.
So about how old were you when that happened?
Well, I was at 22.
And so you decided to come to America.
I decided, yes.
Was there anyone else you knew that was in America? Or
My sister was here,
who was?
2 sisters,
Which sister?
Bella and Fanny.
Okay,
You remember them?
yes.
Yeah.
And did they, had they been here long? And had they written you about America at the time?
Oh, yeah.
Did they said it was good or?
That is good.
Yeah.
And they send the tickets, they send money for the parents to live off. Because it started being very bad there.
In what, this was what, 19?
Well, see, a Jewish person was hard to make a living there. He only could make a living in business, or being a shoemaker or a tailor.
Mhm.
And even then, he didn't get always the money, but he get potatoes, beans, you know, merchandise for merchandise.
So, yeah, you just traded then?
Yeah, traded.
So then when you, how
Well, I was doing business in Budapest. I was going to Budapest and coming, as young as I was. I used to bring in a lot of yeast. It was hard to get yeast.
yeast?
Yeast. You know what yeast is?
No.
You make bread with.
Oh, yeast.
Yeast.
Yeah.
Sorry, didn't catch it.
And they couldn't make the bread if they haven't got yeast. They couldn't make no other stuff, beer without yeast.
Okay, now were you a good child?
One of the best. What you want me to say?
That's it. I didn't
Plead the
know.
fifth.
I brought the yeast. I brought really the yeast home to our town, and everybody came to buy yeast. All the peasants, but they had to bring merchandise for merchandise, and that's how we made a living.
So, at about 20.
And when I went for the yeast, I took back other merchandise. I took boxes of nice apples. I delivered for Budapest. I shipped them there. And we turned around and brought the yeast. I had to go going and coming to make a living.
Now, when you decided to come here, about 22, what, how'd you get the money to come here? How did you get here?
My sister sent me tickets.
She sent you the ticket.
Yeah.
Where'd she get the money? What was she doing here at the
Sure.
time?
In America, I wasn't here to see her husband. He worked in Count Taylor and Company, making pockets.
Where, in Indianapolis?
Yeah. Used to be a big factory here for that.
And-
Making uniforms. I was in 15 in Capital, something like that.
So,
I had to come. I ran away from the army. And they caught me once or twice, and then the third time they shoot you if they catch you. You don't make no monkey business around there.
Okay. So when you came, how did you come on? By boat through?
By boat.
To Staten Island? Or where?
Empress of Scotland.
Empress of
I
Scotland.
don't remember, I even remember the name of the ship.
How did you get a passport?
I was trouble. My wife had to go to Bucharest and buy off an officer there. And he gave me the papers that I was in the army. I served the army. You know what that means? That costed money.
So you got the papers then? and-
Yeah, and I grew a beard. He shouldn't recognize me because he was looking for me all over.
This was about what year was this? Do you remember what year it was? About?
Yeah, I was in between 22 and 23.
And
My sister sent me all the papers,
so you
affidavits,
came into Canada then?
Canada,
Because, why Canada? Why not?
because Ellis Island was too strict. If I would come to Ellis Island, I would have to stay there weeks.
I see.
And if they find any little thing, they would send us back.
Okay.
And then sometimes a kid catches a cold or something, you know, or measles. You won't let me in.
So when you came into Canada,
Quebec, I came in through Quebec, Canada. There is no island. They let you right down out from the boat and go wherever you have to go. And I took the train and come to Indianapolis. I arrived here 4th of July.
and who?
To my sister.
Your sister was there in Quebec.
Here.
Well, oh, you arrived here at 4th of July.
Yeah.
And did you have any trouble when you got to Quebec? When
No,
you got there?
nothing at all.
Nothing.
Get off the boat and go.
What was your impression when you got here to America, when you first saw it?
The
Do you remember what
impression
you thought?
was not too good.
No?
I had 1 quarter in my pocket.
Okay.
How could it be good with 2 children?
Okay. And they came with you?
Sure.
At the same time? Okay. And your wife stayed back in Europe?
No, she come too with the children.
She with, everyone came.
Yeah, the whole family.
Everyone came. And then right here to Indianapolis.
Yeah.
Okay, then,
I stayed by my sister for practically a year. I paid the board, room and board for the family. I couldn't rent the house and I had no money.
so what did you do for a living when you were here? You're
I
23
worked
years
in,
old.
in Kinkin and Company.
Kingman, the meat packing.
Do you remember it?
I remember.
You heard of it?
Yeah.
There where I worked.
Or Washington Street.
And daytime. Nighttime I worked for Greenwood's Bakery to make a living.
Okay. How long did you work there, approximately?
Oh, I say I worked a year in Kenyans, same time at Greenwald's, about that time. And then I went paddling. Got a
Okay.
horse and wagon and went paddling.
What did you peddle?
Produce.
Produce. Why produce?
Where else should I paddle?
I don't know.
People buy everyday produce. They buy potatoes, onions, bananas, whatever.
So you used to go to the South Side Market? to
No,
get
I
your-
used to load in the Southside Market and just go on the streets. One street to the next, and usually I look for the European people. I was able to talk to them. Near King's was a lot of honkies, you know, around there.
Were you able to speak English when
No.
you came to America?
No,
How long did it take you? About a year? Did you
a
learn?
couple of years.
And then when you were peddling, did that pay a lot more than Kingman's? Or
Yeah,
It was better?
yeah. After that, I got me a truck and started selling to the grocery stores. Instead of selling for 2 pound bananas or 2 pound onions, I sold a bag of onions. Or a bag of cabbage, 2
Yeah.
bags of potatoes. Sold bigger.
Molly, get that shit.
At that time, when you were, what did you, how long did you sell to the grocery stores?
Oh, about 3-4 years. Then I bought my own grocery.
And where was that? Remember?
I don't even remember where it was the first
The
grocery
South
store.
Side?
No, between colored people. It was the south side.
What's the bottoms?
Well, the bottom side, Lebanon Brooks, I had a store there. And Vermont Street, I had a store too. The biggest store I had was Indiana Avenue, Shop and Safe.
Was That was a
Your
good,
mother used to work there too.
was that a good store?
Yeah,
So,
with a partner, O'Donnell was in it too.
But you had that store on Massachusetts Avenue.
Oh yeah, I had one open 24 hours in Massachusetts Avenue too. Well, the main thing is I was in the grocery business
Yeah.
too, see.
then from the grocery business stores,
I'm in the tavern business.
and that, I remember one of them was Fort Wayne Avenue.
Yeah.
I remember,
The College Avenue too,
yeah, that was
16 in College.
10 High Brick.
Yeah, 10 Highbrook. But after that, I don't like taverns.
Bingo.
Why, what was wrong with taverns compared, how about the money compared from taverns to grocery?
Very good. Taverns makes a lot of money. Liquor store makes a lot of money. But I don't like taverns. I don't like to be behind the bar. I don't like to be on the floor there between the drunks. So I went the real estate business.
Well, how
That, but I liked.
About what year
How
did you
about his
start
restaurant?
getting into real estate? Remember when you said, the thirties? About 10 years after you were
Peggy,
here?
when was you when the FBI man came? I bought a house up north and I sold it.
that
What
was,
year was that? It was on Edgemont.
It was on Edgemont that he was there.
And right then I went where I was in Edgemont. That
Around
was
1942.
1942, I went the real estate business. I was in 1941. Real
In the real
estate
estate.
business.
And was the real estate,
Very good.
how was it compared to the grocery to the liquor?
There where I made my money in the real estate, not in the rest of them.
How did
Rest
you,
of them make a living.
but what did you know about real estate when you got in?
I learned. I didn't do nothing.
What was some of the first things you did?
Remodeled.
How did you do it yourself?
No, I hired men. I told them what I want. I know what I want, and I told them what I want. I want to paper the rooms. I want to paint the ceilings. I want to fix the windows and fix the floors. I like to work outside, flowers and things. I made it look very good. Then I sold them.
So you had the liquor business at the time that you were getting involved in real estate?
Yeah,
Any
yeah,
grocery business then too?
Yeah.
yeah.
So you had a number of things going for you
Yeah.
at the time.
I had other incomes.
Okay, but how did you manage, you had other people operate these places for you?
Then I took in partners to the groceries and partners to the liquor store.
How
I
well,
mean to the taverns.
how well did partners work out?
Good.
Good? Even though most people say partners are trouble and problems.
No troubles
Yeah.
with O'Donnell's, no. And Hamer, remember Hamer?
Yes.
He was my partner too.
Yeah.
And in Florida.
Wasn't he the Jewish bank, the,
Yeah. He was a partner with me in Florida and in the partners I bought.
yeah.
So that's me. It's a lot of things, you know.
So-
In property, you could make money if you know what you're doing.
do you think you can still make it today in property?
This, but I was thinking a few times. Maybe I could. If I had to make me a setup of people to work for me, like Martin Dorfman, you know.
Yes.
He know nothing about nothing.
Hey, you don't know who's going to see that.
I don't care.
But you,
I'm telling the
Yeah,
truth. He wants the truth, I give it to him.
but you believe today, getting the right people, you
To
could,
work for you, yes.
that you could still do very
Yes.
well in the
You gotta have plumbers, you know. One man sometimes could do plumbing and electric and paint. One man.
Handyman.
What-
I don't know if you, what was that man, Smiley?
Smiley.
We had a worker by me, Smiley, he even cut meat, you know. He know the plumbing, he know the electricity, he know the paint, the paper, everything he knew.
Pipe and meat at the same time? That
Put
would
up
be
a
good.
roof.
Okay, so did you, so in real estate, you also, I guess, had real estate in Florida then,
Yeah,
and was that a
she helped me there
very,
too.
very good? That's it?
She?
Yeah.
Who's she?
My wife,
Is that a she?
that is a she.
That's good to know.
She's a she. Betty.
In Florida, you had apartments and you also, did you
I
have
have
some,
40 units there.
Wow.
with Hamer together, 40 units.
And what was Hamer's business
The bank, Jewish bank,
besides the Jewish bank?
that's all.
That's
Hall
all.
of Fame.
Okay, so, his office used to be, I believe, at the Reagan's Rye on South Side.
Oh, upstairs, yeah,
Okay, top floor, one little room.
yeah.
Yeah, remember that. And,
Right.
so
You
from.
you loaned out money, collected money Sundays.
Mhm.
Not forget the whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And,
Take one.
so, from the real estate business, was that the best, the one you liked the most money and the,
I liked it most, I was always outside. I don't like to be tied up, closed in.
so you worked for Kingan's, was that the only place you've ever worked for?
That's the only place. And the Greenwalds.
Which
Well, I was a greenhorn, I couldn't speak English.
Greenwald's was what?
Bakery,
Bakery, the bakery, that was the only time you ever worked for someone?
yeah.
And you did not like that, or was
To
it
work for
okay?
somebody else?
Yeah.
Never did.
Okay. That was the only time then?
Kingdom paid me $18, I think I'm worth 36. Otherwise he wouldn't keep me.
Was that a week? $18 a week?
A week.
So,
And 12 hours a day, 10, 12 hours. That wasn't a union. And most of the black people worked there, and Romanians, honkies, you know,
mhm.
foreigners. Americans didn't want to work there. But we appreciated for the job anyhow.
Yeah.
We didn't have anything else.
You record here.
So shoulder clock, the complete shoulder.
Boy, that sounds good.
Yep.
It's a good thing you have Peggy to cook it.
I got Peggy, but I need Peggy for that.
To cook your steak.
All right. You think I'm him? Dubo?
No, absolutely not. He lets me get away with far more
I
than what
know.
you ever let
Too
Peggy
much.
get away with.
Too much.
If I got away with too much, I couldn't stop over
You
here in
couldn't
the
get
morning for
away with me,
breakfast.
but you're getting away now.
What do you, what do you,
That's better.
what do you think of most of the younger generation today? When you look at younger
Uh-oh.
generation, your style is a little different.
All,
Is that
Be
right?
nice.
all the older people,
Okay,
all of them. I could give you that from a lot of opinions, you know.
yeah,
Talk to them. They don't like it.
I don't like it.
They don't like it either way.
So men or women?
Huh?
What do you mean?
Both of them. No difference. Both of them. Very, too open everything. You
Too open, even though, so.
know. Today they want this. I came in here 62 years ago to America. You bought, all right, 3 cans of tomatoes for a quarter or 2 cans tomatoes for 15 cents. I'll show you the difference. Today when somebody comes from Europe, he looks at my house, I want a house like that. But I'd work it here. He wants it. He tells his relations. Why shouldn't I have a house like that? Is that right? He didn't work for it. I worked for it. If you got something, you work for it. But the European come now is terrible what he want. They want, whatever you got, you want a car right away. And how to get the license, I don't know, to drive.
By the way, speaking of the license, how do you get your license to drive?
My license, I'll drive, don't worry. I get the license.
He's got a car like Knight Rider that drives itself.
I just wondered, we won't go into it, but I understand that,
He's got that little guy that sits on his shoulder.
okay.
And it whispers sweet nothings
Yeah,
in his ear.
something.
But, so most of the older people believe that the younger
You should
generation.
work for what you want.
Well, what about the idea that today, one man working, it's very difficult to make the kind of money to live in this world today with the inflation?
It's not difficult. We want too much.
Oh, okay.
We want too much. They can't do it for one person to work. So two of them has to work. Man and wife has to work.
But
Because they want everything they see, everything new. You want an electric oven that cooks in 15, 20 minutes. We didn't have it, and we lived. We were stronger too.
Well, does that mean that we can't have it as the younger generation?
If he cannot make it, Yeah, don't beat it. You
But
could,
if
you
you
could
can't-
use the gas stove, no?
Well,
You can
Your
use
father
it.
and mother used to.
Absolutely.
I don't know.
Father and mother used
Yeah.
the kettle over the
Never
little
mind that.
thing in the fireplace.
So I asked Peggy, do you believe that the women today should be at home, or is it okay for them to
They
work?
should be a free spirit.
Oh,
Free, they could be free. I'm not saying no. They could do what, you know what I mean, it's all right.
But
But
as
to
long as
show-
you're home to
to
cook
show
your dinner when you get
TVs.
home.
For young kids, what they show on the TVs today is pitiful.
Like what?
You know, like what, how they going bad.
violence
They
and
show that.
nudity and.
A lot of other things. They show the places, and they bring out the whores on the TV,
But
the call girls.
but don't you think that that today there's a whole lot more? Let's say you were today 21 years old, and you've got video, you've got rock and roll, everything.
They want everything.
But all of a sudden you're 21 and you have it. When you were 21, there wasn't nearly the
You couldn't get those things.
those things. So so you didn't have to worry about it. But what if you lived in 1984? You were 22 years old.
That's why I made $18 a week that time. And today you make 200, you ain't got enough. But you want to buy all that gadgets, all like this here, $2,000. That wasn't necessary.
It was to get you and your,
I would
Lord.
put, look, I would put 3,000 more.
Yeah.
And in 17 years, you get 15 or 17,000 back. That's for the kids at college. In the paper, you see it all the time. Put in 5,000, you get back 17,000 so much in 10 years.
but times have changed. They're not
Well,
like they were.
You
in
change
that
for the
country.
bad, they don't change for the worst.
Who's changing for the worst? Who
Well,
says we're
that's what they're
changing
looking for, the worst.
Because we want a
Well,
microwave
all
oven,
right,
and we want a robot to clean the house.
When you,
Why is that the worst?
Then that's why you go to work. You will live a little bit, but you see,
If I didn't have a robot to clean the house, how could I help him at the print shop?
there is no robots yet. And you could get somebody to clean once a week the house, just the same. They could find all kind of excuses, those ladies, just to get out of it.
Just
You
to
take
get
my
out of
own
it?
granddaughter. She don't want to cook. Marina, she don't want to cook.
I don't either. You've got
All
another
right,
one that doesn't
all
want to
right.
cook.
Is that right?
Sure, it's right.
Sure, it's right.
Why wouldn't it be
Do
right?
something.
In
well,
other words, I know
don't
that
you-
when I sit down and I really want to cook, I will cook. But there are many, many times that I don't want to cook, and there's a darn good reason for it. Why should I?
If it's a reason you gotta go to work or something else. But Marina didn't have to go to work.
So if you have time,
She
in
says,
other words, you should
everybody
cook.
goes out to restaurants, I go too.
but Papa said, don't you think that it's really a matter of an agreement when you get married, more or less, that your husband and you pretty much decide? For example, when you got married, it was, you pretty much knew what you were gonna do and what the wife was gonna do, didn't they?
No,
You didn't know?
no.
Yeah.
I know I have to make a living.
All right. Did you feel a responsibility to support your wife, support your
Yes,
family?
yeah, I have to, yeah, responsible. That's why I say I have to make a living. That means I have
What
to
did
see
your,
that
what did your wife think? What did she feel?
she done everything she could do in the house, just the same. Even she went to work. She went to work because she was used to go to work. And sometimes she had to go to work to come to something.
Okay, well, isn't that true today? Women go to work the same, they have to
No, they
make,
spend more now. All depends how you hold a woman.
Appliances.
How you hold
are
that
more.
horse, tight or let her go? She's not going to spend money just like that.
yeah.
No wonder you wouldn't let me
She
go
puts
help
it away.
Purchasing.
But, and have you had enough money to live comfortably
Yes, we live
in your
comfortable.
lifetime? Have you generally lived comfortably?
And put away so much. Not only live comfortably, no.
Okay, and put away so much
I
for,
didn't have those steaks what I have today, that time. I looked for the cheapest cut of meat I could buy. The reason is to have it for later, to be able to hold a business, put the money together. And we did go in business. That's the way we went to business.
So today, do you spend your money more freely today than you used to?
She got everything under the sun she wants. Fair enough? Is that a fair answer? She don't need nothing under the sun. And she got money by herself too. She's not short of money if she needs it. And whenever she asks me, she gets it too.
Do you feel?
Why don't you have a microwave oven?
She had one, I sent it back.
Why'd you send it back?
She don't need it for two people. We both don't work. What do you want a microwave oven?
Very easily. So
Why?
when you come in the door at 12 o'clock and you expect lunch at 12:05,
I don't
you
expect-
got it.
I got it anyhow. I put it in the gas oven. It's 5 minutes
It's
more.
not the same.
5
No,
minutes
it's
more.
Easy 15 to 20 minutes more.
That's just throwing out money. If she works and I go to work, it's a different story. We got time. We go no place.
We haven't got too much time.
No. Age is catching up.
Now, your age is now 85, right?
Yeah.
And
That's just half of my life.
that's true, that's true. A lot of people in Europe live to be 150, 160.
Yeah, it's
some
just
of the
half of
parts
my
of
time.
Russia. That's why I say you can go through the 3 centuries. You'll,
What do you mean?
18, 19.
I went through 3 centuries already. I got 4 generations today.
Oh, okay.
Have your cousin. Got your cousin.
Lisa,
That girl, Lisa,
Lisa,
if
Sandy.
she'll have a baby,
Yeah.
then you'll see it all papers, 5 generations. And I'll be a picture in the paper free. You put them in the papers when it's 5 generations, any paper.
But you have the chance to live 1800, 1900, and 2000. That's probably a very rare thing that anyone's ever had to go three centuries.
I got a contract with the good Lord
Good.
for a lot of years. I got so many accidents nearly that Angela from here stops it and Angela here on my shoulders. They watch over me.
At 85, are you interested in real estate today?
I always look.
Okay.
I always look. I look at this. Now I nearly bought one, a double, not long ago. And I decided, no, I wasn't in town for so many years. I drove out to get the workers. I'll have trouble. A double for $1,500 on College Avenue, 30th Street, right in the back of the Fletcher Bank, across from the school. Very good rental place. I could have get $400 a month on both sides for $1,500. I didn't want to buy it. I gave it to Margie's husband, to buy it. It's
So-
not like I used to, I know my age, and I know how much I could run around. I know I couldn't find a man to work for me, and I'm strict. I'm a strict boss. The only thing I could get by with the workers if I say, how much? Give it to me finished. And lump. You know what I mean? I don't care if he drinks beer or he sits down. I don't like him to sit down and I pay him so much an hour. Simple. Today, I couldn't run a business because they all go away from me. I want 10 minutes coffee break, another 10 minutes coffee break. So it's coffee breaks, and I have to pay for that.
And years ago, they didn't want that?
No, 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 no. I worked at King's 7 there 7 o'clock until the whistle didn't blow 12 o'clock. Nobody could get away from the job. Nobody. No, it's coffee breaks. It's the union is the one that, the unions.
So what kind of advice would you have to someone 22 years old, maybe out of school,
So
whatever, at your age, what would you advise to them 1984 to do?
you could give them advice, but they don't take it. You listen, you don't take it.
Okay, what would be good?
A job, first. You gotta, today they don't look for jobs. Why? Tell me how much pocket money did you get when you was little from your mother?
don't remember.
Quarter?
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Well, a quarter he throws it back to you now. He wants $5, $10. The parents spoil the kids. Absolutely spoil them.
But what would your advice be to someone 21 or 22 years of age, or 18?
Take a job. If they got money, go in business. What else can I advise him?
What kind of business?
All depends what he could do. If he's mechanical minded, you know what to do. He's mechanical, he goes in the business, open a garage if he's mechanical minded.
But would that be what you'd want him to have for his lifelong profession?
Well, you have to know what he likes, what the boy wants to go in. You can't tell him you do this or do that. He has to like it. He told you a lot of things what to do. You said, no, you like printing. And you got the printing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about women nowadays?
Woman stay home and make children.
Still? What about a woman who wants to go to college, learn something, have her own career?
After she got a child to take care of, how can she go?
What about the women who feel as though that they don't want a child right away and they want to
Now,
make their own
don't.
career?
No policeman stays near you.
That's true.
And you go to college
But
then.
how do you feel about women going to college? and
I
learning?
don't mind at all. She got no children. She wants to better her life. More power to
What
her.
happens if she wants to incorporate her career along with the family?
You want on the
How
couch.
can she do both things?
It can be done.
What? Take care of the children
Okay.
and go to college?
Come on. No, you
Yeah,
have to come
you
over
can
here.
do both.
No,
She couldn't take care of them, but she would have to hire someone to take
There
care of
is no family. That way is not a family.
them. You mean to tell me you feel as though you can't find people that you could hire to take care
Yes,
of your
yes,
children?
but that kid is not so close to you anymore. If you go to college, you'll be close to that woman who takes care of them. Children gotta have the parents.
Okay, is there something wrong with that?
Well,
That they're closer to the one that takes care of them than they are to the
and
parent?
that's why
For
you
a while?
have children for?
For a
To
while?
be close for them.
But what if you want to
And
have
never
stuff?
be so close to you anymore, because she grew up with those people.
What if you find someone that you feel as though will raise your child the way you believe in?
I believe in it anyhow, but the child is close to that woman who raises her. Not to you.
But if it's the proper woman, what is so wrong with that?
I didn't say it's wrong. The proper woman, the kid gets used to that proper woman, not to you. You're
Yeah.
not home.
Put it on Molly.
That is extremely true, but the point of it is, so if you find somebody that can raise your
Still
children,
comes back, you find.
how does it come
I
back?
like you find a woman, but that child will not get used to you anymore. She's used to her.
If they're raised properly, they can be used to anybody.
Well, let me ask. Do you advise someone to go to college, to get a degree, to be a doctor, to be a lawyer?
Yes, I believe in that.
Okay.
That's education. We need it.
Does it matter to you whether the person wants to be a teacher? Does it matter?
Doesn't matter. Otherwise, he'll never be a teacher. He'll never be a doctor if he doesn't do what he wants to do. If he likes to be a teacher, let him be a teacher.
Well, what if there's not a whole lot of money in it, but he likes it?
Still, later he could better himself in other ways. But you have to let him do what he likes to do.
Okay.
Otherwise, you're against, you just spoil that child. Yeah.
So you don't think it's that important, money is that important as much as it is to enjoy what you're doing?
No, I'm not saying money is not important. See, if you got money, you could send all your children to college. You got the money. But if you haven't got the money, you can't send them to college.
What
Can you?
if there were a situation at which there was a husband, there's a wife, okay? And the wife is, quote, so-called better educated. She has a field which will pay more money
Yeah,
and will do more for the family
yeah.
than what the husband's got. How do you feel about the husband that stays home with the children and the woman that goes out to work?
That's between the two, man and wife.
Okay.
They have to decide that. If she makes more money and he should stay home. Sometimes if it's in town, and both is in town, you could have a housekeeper. Still in the evening, the children is with the parents. Still, and both working. Either way, it's between them to make an agreement.
It's very important
I made an
for
agreement
the
with her.
children to be
No
with
more
their
children.
parents.
See?
Why is it so
But Peg-
important to you that children be with their parents?
See if they're together. They're always together. It's more love between the family. More one instead divided.
More of a togetherness.
Yeah.
Do you feel as though, how do you feel as though
I
that,
had that, I know. I'm talking from experience.
from your
That's
mom,
why,
your dad?
that's mom and dad. That's why a hench is different. See, a hench will go over and kiss you. Every time she come in 3 times a day, she take me on and kiss me. Because her parents was different situated. She was always home, her mother, with the family. And when the father come home from business, go kiss your daddy. Your daddy is home, you know. By me, my mother went away. She was called out. Somebody had a baby. Could be 50 miles away. In the middle of the winter, middle of the night, with the sled, gone away. My father had to go away. It was just,
Who took care of you when your mom had to leave to go deliver a baby?
the older sister, as much as was possible. Who took care of him?
Well, when you were younger, what did you
Who
feel?
took care of him?
Who?
You.
Who took care of me?
Yeah, who? Your mother was working, you was at home.
That the Schwarzer ladies.
Well, all right, you're the Schwarzer lady. It's a different case there by you.
Uh-oh.
But every night she was home.
Yes.
She come home, take care of the children. I listen to complaints. That she listened to all the time. Between sisters and brothers fighting or this and that. When I went in there to see him, all they could tell their mother, that man was here again. That man. But she didn't correct him to say that was your grandfather. She didn't correct him.
So why didn't you hang around and correct him?
She should have corrected him.
Why didn't you?
It didn't come the case for me to correct him. When his mother come home, they told him that man who was here today, that man was here again.
Yeah.
Couldn't say his grandfather was here. That's the time to correct. See, that's not a man, that's your grandfather. It wasn't done. It's a lot of ways how kids are raised, how together as you are.
Yeah, but all right, your children, as you raised, say Helen and Harry, did
Yeah.
you
I was too strict.
Did you run home from work and take them to the park and take
No,
them for cotton
no,
candy? Well,
no.
wait a minute, why not?
See, my wife didn't work, she took him.
But what about you? You're their father.
I had to work, I couldn't, maybe Sunday we went out.
Okay.
Yes,
But I'm saying, you talked about the woman being home and taking care of the children. It seems that you're saying that the man doesn't necessarily have to.
no, when it comes to business is closed, it's not a business. They go out to the park, they go on the rides, which they went. Harry and Helen, they went.
Let me ask you a question. If you could have had 5 or 6, 10 children, would you like to have had 10 children, or 5 children, or 6 children, or do you believe that, or did you really want a lot of children?
Those days, I didn't want too many children. It wasn't too good. It was hard, you couldn't make a living. But that was, again, not up to me. A man doesn't know all about, I don't know what.
So it had to do with making a living then?
Yes, I had to go, you know.
If life was easier, if you were a doctor
Oh,
then,
of course.
you would have had a lot of
Well,
children.
my parents didn't have no money to give me education. I done pretty good with my own education. I learned, like they say, from the street fights.
Yeah.
You know, the gang,
Yeah.
I learned for myself.
Do you feel like you're still in touch with today's world? You still-
I'm touched.
Do you think you still understand today, even though,
Yes, I do
Thank you.
understand that life is different today than in my time. I understand that. And I have to, a lot of things, I see it's wrong and I don't say a word. It's not my business. Even my own grandchildren do something wrong, I don't say nothing.
so you understand it's a different,
It's a different world entirely.
Is-
I know it. how you call it, success, or and the country is going ahead. It's changing. Time changes.
So as times changed for someone like
I have to
yourself-
change with the times.
Okay, do you feel like you do?
I have to change.
Okay.
I changed a lot, believe me, a lot. You have to change.
You're still strict though.
I'm not so strict anymore like I used to be. Mm-mm. Peggy will tell you how strict I was.
Oh, thank you.
You know what I learned
Comments
it?
to make?
From my father.
Everybody knows I should.
I learned it from my father. If the knife wasn't at the table to cut the bread, and he made a moitze, you know what a moitze is?
Yes, blessing.
He used to hit that table, sacken, that is in Hebrew, knife. He shouldn't speak out because he washed his head to make the prayer. He was very strict in those things. The table is set. Before he starts serving, look over the table and see if everything is there. Salt, pepper, knives,
Napkins.
napkin, but had a napkin, take a piece of rag, wipe it out. We had no napkins those days. In our country, you know, anyhow. I don't know how it was here. And not too much napkins even when I came to this country. But it was a hard life, believe me, a hard life.
When you came over to this country through Canada, and you ended up first here in Indianapolis,
Yeah.
when is it that you went to New York?
I went to New York in 26 or 27.
Why'd you do that?
There was no work here. I went to the Big Apple, the big city.
Well, did you go by yourself at first,
No.
or did you take the whole family?
No, I went by myself, me and Louis Hirsch, Paul's father. We went alone. And believe me, I was looking for a dishwasher's job, and I couldn't get it. Dishwasher's job.
So what'd you finally end up doing then in New York?
I saw the advertisement, a man hired me to pick up chicken feathers, where they kill the chickens, put them in bags, close it up, and put it on the truck, and I should take it, whatever he told me to, and then when it comes to pay, they didn't even pay me. He didn't have no money, he said. See? Everything happened. He couldn't do nothing.
But eventually you sent for your family to come to New York.
Yes, eventually.
What job did you end up having then once you got to New York and a few other jobs didn't pan out? What did you end up doing then before you sent for your family?
I had a job, speakeasy. You know what that is, speakeasy? You know what a speakeasy is?
A saloon with dancers?
Bar?
No, there was not allowed to have whiskey or wine. There was prohibition times. I was in a very, very big castle in New Jersey. All the big guys came there to drink and bring young chicks with it. Gangsters controlled it, the gangsters. I made that time there, altogether I made about $35, $40, because I stole 15. I got other ones, but it paid me $25. And for me, I was able to stand that place till the big winter come. And that was the coldest nights that I ever saw.
Where did you live?
I live in New York.
And you traveled to New Jersey to the
Yeah.
nightclub?
That's all I had to. That's the job.
How'd you travel?
Subways and the boat. The boat took me across. I had to go across the water. It's all right. It wasn't so bad, you know. I mean,
Where in New York did you live? Like what, Manhattan or
well,
Staten
yeah,
Island?
Manhattan.
Manhattan.
It was. Yeah, it was on by 6th Avenue. And 36th Street, 37th Street. And Louis Hirsch was living there too.
Did y'all room together or?
No, after the wives come out yet, I had one big room, me and the two children. That was bad the first time, very bad. That time they didn't give you nothing. Today they give you food stamps, they give you, they pay your rent for you, they give you everything, you don't have to work today. That time they didn't give you nothing.
And when your wife and kids came over, in other words, or came to New York, you were still working at the
She-
speakeasy?
Yeah, she helped a little that time. She went to work too. She was a good dressmaker, you know,
Seamstress.
seamstress, and she had right away a job on 7th Avenue, where they make all those clothes.
Garment area. How did you feel about her working?
Couldn't be helped. The kids went to how you call it?
Daycare center?
It was no daycare center. It was an overdo, they called it, you know, like a kindergarten, you know. It wasn't to all the kids there. Nursery.
Nursery school.
Nursery. And then I went to a tailor, and I was in a factory. I was pressing dresses. A quarter a dress I got. Took off the ticket. Each ticket was worth a quarter.
That's like piecework.
Yeah, piecework. Quarter a dress.
How many did you get generally in a day?
Who remembers those years? How many I made?
Did
Well,
somebody
what-
check it?
Of course, when I turned in the tickets, they paid me a quarter for each ticket. See, the tickets was on the dress sewed in, on the seam. And I took off part of it, and that's what I turned in after it was pressed. I've done a lot of things, believe it or not. A lot of things. But properties was good. Very good. From working for somebody else, you can make. You never work yourself up. Never. Either you have to borrow money and go in business. You have to take a chance to borrow money from somebody and go in business.
As you were working, what did you do for entertainment? What were your hobbies? What did you like to do besides work?
Work.
Because
That was the hobby.
that was a hobby.
You should have enough for the kids' shoes and other things, you know. Wasn't easy.
So you believe, as
And
you
if
look
I
back-
didn't have a job, Louis Hirsch give me from his pay. And when he didn't have a job, I give him from my pay. That's why we live together. Just like two brothers, more than that. And that's why we still was right here in Indianapolis. We lived like that. I got him out to Indianapolis from Bridgeport. He was still working in a factory. I bought a store with him together in New York, Kuwait.
Gary, you want a sandwich?
No, thank you.
I bought the store with Louis. I guaranteed him he'll make a living. If not, I pay him all his expenses back to New York. Who would do that? I did it.
Well, let me ask you this. You now go around to Hooverwood. You
Yeah.
talk with a lot of the senior citizens.
Yeah.
Are there other people like you that had similar experiences?
Yeah.
Are there very many people like that?
And well, a lot of women comes there free. For instance, the sundry shop there. Each day is different woman. You don't get paid. Free service. Man is Stelesnik, you remember? And the other man, what's his name, the other fella? Tabak, Joe Tabak.
Say back?
Tabak, yeah. And they all come in there. Stelesnik calls off the numbers, they play bingo, have a big room with tables, the older people, you know.
But you don't
Just
play
to do
bingo?
something, huh?
You don't play bingo?
No.
So it doesn't sound like you have very many activities other than making money or
I don't make money now.
looking in it, no.
No money now,
But you
whatsoever.
still look.
I go to old people, I take them to doctors, some of them has to be taken to make glasses, you know, to a doctor, they haven't got no
But
car.
do they have it as hard as you? Do they think the way you think? Do they feel like,
You mean an old home?
were their lives similar to yours?
And not there, they don't think for nothing.
No, I mean, do they relate with what you're saying back in the 20s and the 30s? Do they?
Oh
they
yeah, we
work the
talk
same?
about what it was.
Did they work that hard that they don't have any hobbies or they didn't have anything else?
Well,
So you sound like you worked so hard to keep things going, you really didn't have anything else.
And now I don't work hard, see, easy. Everything is easy. Now those people don't have sense enough to think even much in the old home. They don't think, I'm not craft, you know craft.
So why don't they, and why do you?
Well,
What's the difference?
they got different
You're older
mind.
than they are.
Yes, but they haven't got the mind there. Something wrong, I don't know.
What has kept your mind going? What? What?
Always thinking, that makes it more turn around. Why you think I run around all day? Here, there, here. That keeps me alive. That keeps me alive. I could eat better, I could sleep better.
Do you think people today are as tough as they used to be? In the sense of survival?
Today's generation, they don't work as hard as we did. We gotta have to go here, go there, have a little fun, and this, that. We never thought of that, never. Ask my wife, she knows she went through that too. Plenty through.
What about?
Hard work.
Well, sure, hard work never hurt anybody.
She went down the street car, and she had only 6 cents instead of 7. They put her off, middle of the night, for a penny. That guy, I don't know what kind of heart that man had.
1 penny.
To put her off 12 o'clock at night. She worked till 12 o'clock at night. She took the street car. And she didn't have just 6 cents instead of 7. She dropped it in there, you know.
And they did
He
put,
saw.
and he actually put you off.
He put her off, gave her the 6 cents back and says, you gotta have 7. I would
Why'd they
take from
do
my
that?
pocket and put it in.
They threw you off the streetcar.
They put me off the
You,
street.
you,
How'd
you
you
know,
get
you know Mrs. Oakley?
No.
You don't know her. She knows her and Harry knows her well because Harry, I don't know how he knows her so good. And she is the one who watches over those refugees. And I was on the committee with them, you know, at night, make have meetings, what to do. No pay, even use my own gas. Because I know how bad it is when you haven't got it. I know that. But today they got more than they need. They give them housing, they give them a check for $300 a month or $250. All depends on being a family. And they give them food stamps. And the committee takes them to that. They have got no cars, not everybody. They need glasses. They call up the elastic ticket to make glasses. Hearing aids, sometimes they call me, go ahead with somebody there. And that's just charity work.
But are there people at Hooverwood that worked and was able to work as hard as you worked?
Yeah, that was Levy, that I know them.
But what I'm asking is, it sounds like you've had a very difficult life. You've always had to work very hard because nothing was ever handed to you. And
Nothing.
Nothing. And it was very tough, depression and everything else.
Not a penny.
Were there very many people like you?
Yes, it was.
Are they alive today?
Yeah. Not as old as I am. And he's still there. He was crippled up in the old home.
Okay.
I'll take a man that you know. I was called a man, a Kraft. You heard about Kraft? Bakery,
Yes.
the south side?
Yes.
He was in the old age for a while, he's out. His son is a very good, a big macher in the city. You see him in the papers by the time Kraft.
Yeah.
Gerald Kraft?
Elected for president of the B'nai Brit and this and that.
Yeah.
His son-in-law, his son, maybe is that, or grandson, one of those two. And he has a very big power here in town. And you see how he walks. He's spiritual with a cane. And he got plenty of money.
How old?
I don't think he's my age. He's last. Then I go there and around and they say, see me, I says, I don't belong here. I says, I'm not old enough to belong here. That's what I could tell them.
Do you ever look back or look at yourself now in the mirror and say to yourself, why is it that my mind is still so sharp and that my body is still strong enough that I can keep going, where some that I know that are my age maybe even older, are in the old folks' home and can't.
See, my sister was in the old home. What are you going to say to that? My own sister.
I'm asking you.
Yeah,
Did
they
you
give
ever
you an
wonder?
answer. My daughter-in-law gives me an answer. Your genes. Who the hell is gene? The genes. Who knows in Europe about genes? Nobody. And Europe, I'll tell you something else. You know they got high blood pressure or sugar. Mary did know. Mary Burnett. You know, you
Yes.
didn't know.
I
You know
remember
Burnett.
Bob Burnett.
I knew her.
Huh?
Her son, Bob Burnett. I know her
What is
son.
Bob doing now?
I'm not sure, but I know him from Tabernacle Recreation. He used to be involved with sports.
Yeah. Yeah, Bob Burnett was
He used
Sure,
to,
that
he
was
was.
Mary's
His
son.
wife's name.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. She had sugar in Europe yet. It went into her eye even. She was shooting herself and all that stuff in her arms. But a lot of other people didn't know sickness. In a little town, they didn't have even doctor. Only the old remedies. Which they coming back now. I see in the paper, old remedies. Find them in the field, certain leaves. I don't know, even in Europe, after I got married, I worked very hard. Drove a horse and wagon, picking up the guts from the sheep.
When you were raised, though, when you were raised up as a boy, you were raised basically to say to yourself,
To save
My-
myself.
to say to yourself, my goal in life, or what I'm supposed to do in life is make money, to raise, to take care of, if I take a wife, to take care of her, to take care of her
There is
children.
no factories much where I come from. No factories to go to work. A girl in Europe, if she would have the job what she had, what Peg had, was looked down, very down. A girl couldn't, if she didn't have no money, she couldn't marry a better class boy. She had to marry a shoemaker, a tailor, blacksmith, or something like that.
And they were considered lower class?
Very much, very much.
What was higher class?
Business people, doctors, lawyers, and business people.
When you got married over in Europe,
Then why did you get married?
Why did you get married?
I'm not sure. I guess it's-
I wasn't sure neither. I got married.
I can tell you why he got married.
Right.
He needed somebody to remind him of his mother, which is your daughter.
He don't want to be reminded from her. He knows it without her. Usually everybody got married. You see this one get married, this one. Then you went out with girls and then you played this and that Saturdays. Saturday's a holiday in Europe. People don't work at all.
Because of Shabbat?
That's right, very strict. You don't.
You don't,
And Sunday was Sunday. They start going for business.
Well, when you,
Yeah.
did you ever take girlfriends out on dates? I mean, was there any dating, and if you dated, where did you go?
Where you gonna date them? You go out to the houses there, we sit down there, we sit with her.
You just
Like,
go?
like
you-
in Silverville, where she comes from in Silverville. Where did you go in Silverville, for instance? A girl in Silverville.
Oh, we went to
Between the woods?
we went to church. We went to Sunday school. And
See, where you go? Europe. Same thing be there, like in this country here.
Yeah, but as a man and a woman, when you went with a date,
She told you where they went. To
but
this.
in Europe it was different.
No, that's the old-fashioned thing was here already, just like in Europe. Her grandfather got a beard till here. Her grandfather. I saw the picture.
Sam, what would your advice be to a young woman today, someone like Heather, that's 8 years old? What would your advice be?
Give her education.
And what should she be?
What she wants to be, not what you want her to be.
Okay.
Feel out, see which way she goes, what she likes to do. Now, the parents could know easy what the kid wants to be. After she goes 1 year in college, she still could change her mind. Doesn't she?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You're saying that as long as it's what she wants to be, she can be good at whatever she wants to be.
Whatever she wants to be, she'll be good at it because she wants to be.
She wants to be, but
Yeah.
if she doesn't want
But
to
if
be,
you force her for something else, her mind is not there.
but even if she wants to be something that doesn't make much money, that's okay?
Even it doesn't make much money, it's okay, because she's not going to rely just on that money alone.
She what?
She's not going to rely on that money alone, she's going to get married.
Okay,
It's natural thing. That's life.
yeah.
So her husband will make money, but she got something to do too.
Excuse me, what makes you think that it's life that she's going to get married?
Why not? Everybody gets married.
What if she
Why
doesn't
should
get
she
married?
get married if she becomes a veterinarian, a doctor, a lawyer?
They all get married.
Why?
Huh?
What makes you think that, why would a woman want to marry a man if she can support herself?
Not every woman's getting married for support.
Well, that's true.
She falls
but
in
you
love
don't-
with a
you don't-
man, or the man falls in love with the woman, they want to marry her.
You don't necessarily have to get married to do what you want to do.
So you don't get married, so you live that way.
Okay.
That's the same thing.
No, it's totally different. When you get married, you depend upon a man, quote, to take care of you.
And if you live with a man,
If you live with a man, it's
Yeah.
totally different. You don't depend upon that man to take care of you. You
You
depend
don't.
upon yourself. No,
even they live together, I know a lot of them don't depend.
Then they're fools.
You're a fool?
Yeah.
Well, let him be a fool, but that's what he do.
Boy.
That's what he do.
If you could go back and you could have the money and you were 21 or 20 and could go to college or do whichever you want, what would you want to be? But if you could have
I would be in the White House.
be the president,
I would be in the White House. Not I couldn't be a president.
politically, you would.
I could be in the White House.
What would you do in the White
Why?
House?
My education, if I would have the education
Doesn't matter.
and still have the brains, I know what I would do. I would have so much money, I wouldn't know what to do with it. Politically, in politics, you could make a barrel of money. In politics.
So,
I learned it, you know. I haven't got education. You know, I never went to school here in this country, never.
What grade did you quit?
Fourth,
Fourth grade?
yeah,
9 years old?
in Europe. When I was 11, 12 years old, I was sent away already to serve, to be a tailor. And I had to, 1 year I had to be a servant to clean the stables, clean the kids behind, lay them to bed, and all that stuff, you know. You have to do that. Then you go, they give you away for 4 years. They
Like
sign
an
me up there.
apprentice type job
It's not a job, it's to learn something.
to learn?
Yeah, to learn a profession. And I couldn't do that. I run away.
Did you ever wish that you could go back and continue your education or learn more?
Education, yes. I would like to, if I would have to live it over again, I would want to have the education. No matter what.
So you wouldn't run away again?
I run away from I think when they put me there to be a servant. From that, I didn't run away from the school.
But did you give it enough time to find out whether or not, once you, quote, were a servant, you would go on to be an apprentice and learn?
I didn't want to be a tailor.
You didn't want to be a tailor?
No.
How come?
It wasn't in me. I wanted business. I wanted to, you know,
Your father was in his own business, right?
all right, he was his own business. There was he had 3 sons also.
Wouldn't you be included in his business eventually?
No, no.
Why not?
Each one is separate in their business. If he buys a ton of walnut, where do I come in there? Maybe I want
To
to be,
teach you to buy the ton of walnuts and make a profit with
well,
it
I go and
yourself.
buy it for myself, not with him together. I could buy a ton of walnuts without him being near me.
Would he have taught you this?
Huh?
Would he have taught you this?
No, yeah, I know what to do. I've been there. I've been with the Frankovitz's father together about partnership.
What Frankovitz was that?
Lipos,
Lipo?
Lipos' father.
His father?
We met his father, yeah. And honey, we bought a lot of honey. Barrels of honey.
As in bee-type honey?
B-type honey, yeah.
Why is it that you ended up going to be an apprentice, quote, for,
My parents wanted me to learn
Taylor.
something. Hence his father was a shoemaker. And he went in business. He didn't work his profession. He didn't like it. So he went in business.
what did he go into if he didn't like the shoe business?
He was forced to go in. He signed you up for 4 years. A contract.
So your parents signed you up for being a tailor?
Yeah, I'm a shoemaker.
and
I
you
don't know
didn't like
why. He finished it at least. He made the shoes for Hens all the time.
What happened? Why is it that you always run away? You ran from the army, you ran from being a tailor. What is it that you decided on?
I didn't run away from business. But I didn't like,
You
I
could
ran
have
away.
been in business if you had stuck with being a tailor.
That's not a business, I'm telling you. That's a
It's not a
profession.
business that you like, but it's a business.
What's your definition of a success?
What?
Someone who's successful, what would you define? What's your meaning of success?
Success. You could be success in business, can't you?
Yes.
All right. Now, if you're a tailor, I saw tailors, he never was a tailor, but they had shops. We run the business. It's a business. To be a tailor staying like this in the middle, I can't do that. I couldn't do it.
You are saying people should do what they like to do,
Yes.
but what if it happens to be something that doesn't make a lot of money? Is that still
If I don't like
successful?
it, no matter how much money you want to make, I run away from it because I don't like it.
Is there anything wrong with having a job that doesn't pay a whole lot of money, but one you really love, and you live in a very, very small apartment, but because you don't make enough
It's
to
nothing
live with?
wrong in that, absolutely. Take Manny Isaac. He cannot run a business for himself, never. But for the other guy, he's very good, very good. You can trust him, he works hard, works good, watches your business. He worked for me 9, 10 years. But some people cannot be in business for themselves, cannot be. He's better off to work with other politics and payday every week and that's it. He knows what to do with it, so much here, so much there, and it's fine.
So where do you fit in? What's your best place in business?
Real estate.
You feel like you're successful?
Real estate is good. You could make money, a lot of money,
Quickly?
quickly too. I made my money in real estate. I didn't make the grocery business. Mhm.
I simmer
But
down.
I made it
There's nobody
in
out
real
there.
estate.
There is nobody out there.
Oh, well.
It's good. About the 40 units, you wasn't there. No, your sister was there, I think. 40 units in Florida, about for 118,000. 40 units in the best location.
40 units?
Yeah. 40 apartments, 40 units. Did you let it out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So today it's worth $1 million.
I'll walk up on
18,000, 118,000.
it. My turn to go too.
What would the difference be today if you were a millionaire, multi-millionaire? What difference would it be to you?
Want to make another million, another million?
Okay. Would you live,
Money makes you do that.
Okay, but would you live any differently?
No. No. I would have more for the for the people, that's all. What's that?
I was just showing Peggy.
You trying to get Peggy?
No, I turned it to Peggy. You said you'd have more money for your wife, you'd have more money.
What the wife? The wife don't need it. When I don't need it, she don't need it either.
She needs it.
Yeah,
I need
no,
it, I just don't get it.
Yeah.
So,
You see, you take you.
okay,
If you make money now, you get 10% of the bank, let's say.
yeah,
I would invest it in a double. I wouldn't buy singles, a double. Even you have to fix it a little bit, which you don't know how to fix it. You get a Schwarz and a Cuban and this, that, they fix it up nice. He is, if one of them moves out,
Go, let's go out.
one is empty, one is occupied. You never have to pay no money out of your pocket.
What happened?
It pays out itself. Get a mortgage, it pays out itself. Somebody comes wants to give you a problem, sell it. You made 3,000-4,000, you could buy another one, better,
Hurry up.
Who's that, Chico?
or two of them.
She comes out.
Also the mortgage, because the tenants pay for it.
Go on.
but how old were you when you felt that you had enough money to live comfortably? You ever remember having enough money to live comfortably, when that person was?
I know I didn't have the money to buy the first property for business, to fix it. I went to the bank, the Jewish bank, and I bought it from there. And then after I sold that, bought another one, sold that, bought another one, bought 2, 3 in one time, fixed them up, sold them.
How old were you when you felt that you felt fairly secure and you had, you know, food, shelter, clothing? Do you remember when you felt like, hey, I made a few dollars?
Peggy could answer you that.
Okay.
Peggy answered that.
How,
What's that?
How old do you think Papa Sam was when he
We feel more comfortable,
felt like he had enough
make a
money
nice living from
to-
business and things like that.
to relax a little bit? I mean, not just that he had food, clothing,
Think
shelter,
when we
and he
had
really
the
didn't want
tablets,
anything.
when we
You
had
know,
the
he-
I don't know. I don't think you even relaxed any until 1972.
72.
Yeah.
I retired in 59. How can I be in 72? See, the tavern give us more money.
I said 1972.
Yeah.
That's when you sort of relaxed a little bit. Not before then.
But did you feel comfortable? What I mean is, when did you?
I felt comfortable when I had the taverns and the store in Indiana Avenue.
Well, the year was what, 1960s?
That was
When your mother worked there,
around 1958,
1958.
60.
Mom worked in taverns?
No, in the store.
Oh.
She was
Because
the cashier.
we went to Florida in 1959.
Yeah. See, I retired in 59. And I went to Florida.
That was,
And I worked harder there after I retired than here.
I remember visiting you once. I was down there with some friends. We stayed at the Wave Motel.
Yeah,
We were down with me and my buddies from high school.
yeah, I told you where to go.
Yeah.
The Babes Hotel.
And I remember at the time you had some hotels. You took me around to the concessions. I think.
Oh,
Becky
yeah,
was working one.
sundry shops.
Sundries.
Sundry
That
shops.
was good.
Yeah, I made good money.
What were the
I
hotels?
fixed them, well, the hotel is there. The
Remember?
Crown Hotel Casablanca, it was O'Donnell, I let him have it for himself. I was in Miami, the big hotel, what was it?
McAllister,
McAllister,
Everglades,
Everglades.
Barclay,
Which one I did?
and the Crown.
Yeah. I took a place, I saw a possibility in a hotel.
Yeah, back recording.
Huh?
We're back recording. But that was you were staying in Florida.
In Florida, I saw a big hotel, had apartments too. And I went in there, asked if they haven't got no sundry shop. So I went and asked for the manager why he hasn't got no sundry shop. Got a room there, I'll take it. So I bick it around with him. I got it for $75 a month, all the utilities, heat and light, everything included, in a hotel. Me and Peggy fixed it up. Did we keep it for a year?
Yeah, we had it for a year.
1
We had it
year.
Over a year.
A guy comes around and gives us, how much? I don't remember now.
15,000.
$15,000.
It cost us 5.
Oh,
You
how
see?
nice.
And then I buy another one the same way. We sell it. I know how to fix up to look good, you know. That touch I got. I could fix it up nice and look good. Same thing with properties. Outside nice flowers, clean them up nice. And the colors nice. That touch I got. So and this way I done with the Sunday shops.
Wanted to ask how you met Max Toiber, say my father, how that came about, that my mother
Not
met
so
him.
wet.
Well, I met him in Laredo.
What were you doing in Laredo?
I went to Mexico to see my mother. My mother was staying there by Max's mother.
Why didn't she come here?
She could,
They wouldn't let her in here?
no.
So how did she know Max's mother
Through somebody, you know.
from Europe?
And she was with a woman, Max's mother, and my mother, I suppose, paid her so much to stay there. And I went to see her. I got acquainted with Max and his sister. I forgot her name, the youngest.
Lupe.
Lupa, yeah. And I went traveled there a few times, you know, and we got very well acquainted.
But-
Then he
but
come,
you- but you
then
were-
he come here and met your mother.
But did your mother want to come here?
Yeah, sure.
But you couldn't get her in though,
No, to Mexico she could go.
but not in the U.S.
No,
Okay, so
so she come here anyhow
how did she come here? She got here anyway.
through the border.
To what? To the border.
And Dave too. I brought over Dave at Christmas.
Did Max help
How
in
did you
that?
get him?
Huh?
How did they come here? Did Max
Oh,
help
Max could come easy, legally.
legally?
Yeah, but Dave couldn't, so I had to go after him. And it was on a Christmas night, and I told him, I teach them how to cuss in English.
To
How to
what?
cuss in
Cuss in
English?
English.
Swear.
Dirty
Couldn't
words,
speak
swear.
English?
No, he couldn't speak
He
English.
couldn't speak English. He
Then
come
you
from
taught him
Europe,
to cuss.
and I got acquainted with the guards that I've been there a week before. I took him out for lunches.
Laredo?
Yeah, I took him out for lunches, dinners, and this and that. They got acquainted very well.
This is Laredo, Mexico,
Laredo, Texas, and Laredo,
Texas.
Mexico. It's the border there.
because I know Nuevo Laredo, which is called New Laredo in Texas, and Laredo is still Mexico.
Well,
Both sides.
Okay.
The bridge, the border divides them. Laredo, Mexico, Laredo, U.S. And I got acquainted with this guy, so I took him out, have a drink with him, you know, until I know them all pretty good. So Christmas night, when we come across, and he was laying on my shoulders, and he was cussing in English. So he wasn't drunk, not much as you are, or but he acted that way. God stopped me and says, oh, you know me. Who's that? I says, he's from San Antonio. American boy, they're going to strip him there. I want to take him home. Go ahead, he said. So I did. And that's what happened with Dave.
How'd you get the papers for him to stay here?
What papers?
He never had papers?
No,
He
I
never
told you I
voted?
brought him across the border.
What about voting for presidents and stuff?
No, wait a minute, you jumped too far ahead.
Okay,
He
back
come
up.
here and he met Lena. Lena's American. Lena's American citizen. He married her. Then he went to Canada and she brought him in after she married him, legally.
Wait, back up. He met Aunt Lena.
Yeah,
They got married here
yeah,
by a JP, Justice of the Peace.
yeah, whatever.
Then how did he ever get a marriage license or anything to get married?
At that time it wasn't terrible to get a marriage license. You go to the courthouse and you buy a marriage license, you give them $3.
And that's it.
You got a marriage license.
So they got married here.
Yeah, but the rabbi too.
And then he went to
And then
Canada?
he went to Canada.
Why?
He should be able to come illegally to be able to vote and become a citizen.
And Canada didn't ask any questions. He
No.
just went over the border there and then came back over
And
here.
she made him papers. Lena, she required Uncle Seb to letter her husband from Canada to the United States. And there, after a while, after a little hassle here and there, they gave him an American visa. He came in legally.
I'll be darned.
And Max became a citizen too because he married my daughter.
So Max, did Max want to come to the United States?
It looked like it.
Huh?
His mother came too, she died here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but did,
They didn't have nothing to go in Mexico, Laredo, a small little town.
so how did he get here? Marrying her?
Yeah.
He got in,
She brought him out.
okay. So who else did you help bring into the country? What other people?
They're gonna put me in jail.
Not now. You,
I'd like to
Who-
see that. They
but
wouldn't
you
keep
did help
on.
other people come into the country.
Yeah, no, to bring in illegal aliens, no. That was out of my line.
What you want?
I know
Well,
some of
like
them
that.
who come and I've been to the
You
port
don't
in
wanna go out.
Brooklyn, but
You wanna
right
go
there
out?
to pick him up from the boat.
Mhm.
A few boys, you know, they came in illegal.
You wanna go?
So does it,
And my brother's supposed to be there, but from them. And his father.
You want on
And
the
as
couch?
soon as he went and hit him under the coal, he couldn't breathe, he went out. He didn't want to come there.
He didn't want to stay in America?
He was in America legally and went home. After he went home, he felt sorry why he went back. So he tried to come back, not legal. And for $1, he could be back legal. I told him when he went, he says, never will I come to America. He worked in Kenyan's too. And he wasn't used to that kind of work. But he said he stayed a
What did he
year.
do in Europe?
Huh?
What did Annie Hinch's father do in Europe?
Business. Wheat, oats, wool, anything, business.
so how many people died in the concentration camps? What family members died in Europe?
Our family,
Our family.
quite a few. Frankovitz's father, my mother, my sister, my brother-in-law, Bentsy's all children, you know, your Uncle Bentsy,
Yes.
his wife, the children, all died there. Most of the people died there.
Did the people at that time, being in America, were you aware that it was that bad back in the 40s? Or were they aware of it? Or was there anything unusual about it?
Nobody was aware exactly how bad it is. We heard that the gas in there, we heard it. Nobody was sure. When I went to Europe in 38, you said it was?
37, I think.
37. I saw already, Hitler was already in power. And I went to Germany,
And what did you see?
home. They don't let you see too much anyhow, but when I arrived, I know they was digging. With the train, I saw they was digging like where you want the soldiers to stay and shoot, you know,
Trenches.
trenches. And when I came back, I knew already it's going to be bad. That's why I sent
So you saw it,
your grandmother.
so you saw a little ahead of time? Than a
Yeah,
lot of
I
people
saw ahead of time. It's going to be bad. I knew that bad.
And you really thought it was going to be bad then?
Huh? I thought it's going to be bad, but not that bad to kill so many people.
I see.
Germany was a very educated country. Very educated country. Never believed Germany would do those things to people
I see.
that you don't do to animals. They just wanted to wipe out the Jewish race, and Catholics too. So when I went there, I saw trenches and this and that. And I saw what they do to a lot of people already. In Germany, I was reading, you know, between the lines.
You do that to me.
I sent your grandmother and Harry back to Europe. And Harry should bring out, not Hensha, another sister's daughter, which was Bensie's wife after that. See, Bensie married my sister's daughter in Europe. He wasn't over there, he wasn't like you saw him here. He became that way in the concentration camp.
Who is this again?
Bensie,
Betsy.
your uncle, your mother's brother.
You said Betsy was in the concentration camp?
Sure.
Where-
See his number on the hand?
Your uncle,
Yes. Where? But which? Do you know which concentration camp was he in?
I think he said.
great uncle.
Huh?
Daddy, great uncle.
Great.
It's his great uncle.
It's
Yeah.
your daughter's uncle.
So you see, he lost it there, lost his kids there.
He lost
And he
a lot.
became so that he don't believe in nothing. And when he see a piece of bread on the floor, he picks it up. Shouldn't be on the floor because he was so hungry that they wouldn't let him eat the potato peelings that he threw out. They don't let him eat it.
Do you think that's something that can happen in America, or something that will happen again
Could happen again, yes.
in America?
Could happen in America to the biggest anti-Semitism in America. Look how they hype Mengele there in Argentina. You see in the paper today, I got a mail. I got a card that goes to the president to intervene, not to keep. Not long ago, they sent back a priest from here. He was a very big Nazi in Europe, a priest. Killed a lot of people.
Do you think that there's more anti-Semitism today or less than there used
It's
to
a lot of them here. The Ku Klux Klan is getting bigger. Then you got those people, Peggy, that his son was in it. How you call him?
Birchites.
Birchites. You ever heard about the Birchites?
be? The Birchers?
Yeah,
The Birch Society?
yeah.
I've heard the name.
They're anti-Semites too. I want you to know.
Do you think that,
It's more and more.
do you think that Jews will ever be free of anti-Semitism? Is it something that will
He
always
was
be?
born that way, from way back. Abraham's time was already. Adam's two sons killed a brother and a brother. Always was strong. How you take it?
I don't know what you want.
So what's in store in the next 50
What's in
years
store?
for Jews? 50, Israel. What's in store for Israel? 50 years, 20 years?
But I see, if the country will stand in
You want to go
Israel,
out?
it'll be a Jewish country.
You want to go?
There could be rabbis or whatever you want. But the Jewish faith kind of fades out in the different countries. America, Germany, Austria, Hungary, all those countries, the Jewish faith disappears little by little. Too many intermarriages, one way or another. Children born, you don't know what they are.
Let's go.
Some parents have an agreement. Boys, me, the girls, you.
I'm putting you to bed.
They got different agreements, what school to go. You see, it's getting, you ever eat Mama Liga?
Mm-hmm.
Mush?
You did.
You did?
And Hensha did it, made it.
Mama like that?
Yeah.
Pizza like?
The cheese, mush,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's why the people become all mixed up in one pot. Ain't gonna be no this, no that, it's gonna be people.
But what about Israel?
Only in Israel,
Well,
just like Bucharest. Bucharest is Romanian.
is that good?
Jerusalem is Jewish. Arabs is Arabs. That's good because you got power. But mixed up in this country, in these big cities, we're just like a leaf in the ocean.
But at the same time, if Israel is has all Jews, doesn't that make it easier target?
No. Power. Jewish people is a small country, but they got an awful big power. The army is awful big power. They got the best. What do you think they're doing now? Millions of Arabs all around them, and they can't do nothing with the Jewish land. They want to chew them up and spit them out. They can't do it. They're too powerful. serious, powerful too, but they're afraid of them. They're afraid of the Jewish because they train very well. It's a group, not one Jew here and one Jew there. One synagogue here and one synagogue there. They burn synagogues, the toilets, everything they burn up, singly.
But do you think that according to Bible, a Christian Bible, that there'll be a battle in Israel, that there'll be...
It's always going to be battles. Don't the Germans battle with the Russians? Don't the United States battle with Russia?
But
One country with other country.
Will
always.
Israel be here 50 years from now?
It's a thing to see. Nobody can foresee. 50 years from now, they're going to fight from upstairs.
The what?
They're going to fight from the air, from upstairs.
Good point.
You see? You're going to fight from there. They fight now between them. They shouldn't take it over there, all those ammunitions. They're making stations now there. Stations. What's the reason for stations? They got ground there, just like here. Ground.
Will the United States be about the same, do you think, 20, 30, 40 years from now? Freedom, will there still be democracy?
Yeah.
Or, as we know it?
That they can't take it away for one reason. All the people in the United States come from people who were suffering in Europe. It was prosecuted. Persecuted maybe for religious reasons, persecuted for other reasons. They all run to the United States.
That was years ago. What about today? You still think it's coming?
No, it was years ago. But one generation tells the other how bad it was there. In each of their country, well, they run away. They want to know why you run away. The children has the parents, and they tell them. And that's why they want a free country. Whoever was trying to turn over this country will have a hard time to do it.
Do you still think America is the best place to live?
Yeah, the best.
Not in Israel?
No.
In America.
Better here. Israel of America wouldn't help them, and Mexico and other, there's a lot of Jews. It wouldn't exist. Only if they make peace. All the money they send is 75% ammunition for war. And America helps them millions of dollars because America needs them there. Not because they like the Jew. They benefit.
Yeah, then what is your opinion why the Jew has been picked on all for years, for centuries?
He was crooked as soon as he became a Jew.
What?
He was crooked as soon as he became a Jew. Jacob crooked his own brother for the firstborn. Don't you remember?
I'm going to take you and put you to sleep.
But why is it?
One became a Jew, the other one became a Gentile. Already then, Jacob stood. Oh.
Was that the
Esau
coat of
and
many
Jacob,
colors?
Esau and Jacob was two brothers, yeah?
Yeah.
Isaac's two sons.
You want to go to bed?
And Jacob stole his birthrights from the other brother. And he got very mad. He wanted to kill him right there. So he ran away. And they had fights all the time, even then. Even then, Egypt was safe from a Jew. Was his name Joseph, I think, Joseph.
Joseph.
Yeah. He saved Egypt from hunger, for starvation. He run the country. He run Egypt entirely. And as soon as they saw so many Jews, they started making make new laws. The Jew will take over, and they start killing them, just like Germany.
They got
Took them for
worried.
slaves. You read that, didn't you?
When there were too many of them, they got worried and they killed them.
So you don't think that'll ever end?
Not in the United States. No, not for this United States. There's too much of a mixture. From every country you got people here, from every country. And wherever they catch them, they try to make trouble. They put them in jail or they send them away from this country.
When you were young and growing up, did your parents specify, or was it necessary that you would marry Jewish?
Oh yeah, strictly. Very strict.
They were Orthodox?
Oh yeah. Remember, the Orthodox don't want to have any mixed blood. Just like the Germans said. We want pure German blood. You understand? When a man married a German girl, Hitler wanted them to leave the white. They want pure blood, not mixtures. We had it in the papers many times. The same thing with the Jew. But also, I remember that I read in the Bible, if you go to war against somebody, you take prisoners. You take women prisoners, good-looking prisoners. Do not touch them. The Bible says it's plain. Don't touch them. Separate them. Let them cry after their families, after being in a strange place, prisoners. And if you still love her, you still want to marry her, you could marry her if she converts to be a Jew. Now that, I read it myself.
And what if she didn't? You didn't marry?
No, no way can you marry a Gentile girl if you don't convert.
Come on,
I don't want you. Where are you looking for me?
come on.
So you see, the Catholics is the same way, seems to me. You see, the priest, the Rome, the Pope, he wears the same yarmulke I do.
Yes.
See? He wears one like this. You see it on his head all the time. He don't go without it.
No.
Why?
In reverence to God.
They got close, so close our religion together with the Catholics. You'd be surprised how close the religion is. We used to have those bells ringing all the time, just like they got. But since they burned the big temple in Israel, they took it on themselves to suffer, not to allow have bells anymore, because they have it. You see,
Maybe
it's...
they wouldn't be detected.
Huh?
Maybe they wouldn't be detected as a temple and wouldn't be destroyed, or
Oh, they could have it if they wanted.
they just decided not to.
So not because they got it, that was the Jewish habit. And not the Catholics got it. So, all right, what's the difference who has it? But they're so close to religion, you'd be surprised.
Did you, when you were growing up, did you ever question the
A lot.
opposite religion?
I did a lot. I've been going in so many different churches. I went to the Holy Rollers, I went to the Baptist, I went to the other ones, just sit down and listen. I'm anxious, just to listen.
To learn.
I see this, there's one thing I know. They always preach to love your fellow man, but they don't keep it. They preach it. Who was Jesus Christ? A Jew.
Yeah.
Love thy neighbor as thyself. Did they do it?
No.
So what's the use of writing the Bible? They don't keep it anyhow. The Gentiles don't keep it neither.
So what is your opinion of what is going to become in the end? We know what Christianity believes, but Judaism, what do you think will be the final deal?
If they wouldn't have had become a Jewish land, the Jewish thing would be just like that, going, about just going. But over there, they opened up again the temples, studied again the Jewish things. People go from here and study there. They come back rabbis. Even my nephew, your relation, is there to be a rabbi. The Vera Gorovitz's son. He is there studying.
But what's gonna happen in the end? What's your belief in the end?
My belief
What's
in
gonna
this,
happen?
in Europe, Asia, all over, the Jewish religion will be lost between the public, but not the Jewish land. The Jewish land will be just like America, like Rome, like Budapest, like Romania, a country by itself. And anybody wants to go study there could go freely study. But the other people, me, you, look who you married. Look who I married. Already I don't believe in Allah. I go to shul. I believe there is a God. I believe to do good with a fellow man. Anybody. I don't care if it's black, white, green, red. I see him in trouble, try to help him. I believe in that.
What's going to be at the end, though?
In the end, it's going to be lost, I told you. It's going to be the Jewish religion and Jewish people will be mixed up all
Like
together.
pizza, with everything on it.
Totally.
Here, but not in Israel. That's a country.
What's the history of it? What will happen to Israel? Is there an end?
No,
Is there a
Israel is
final-
going to be a Jewish land all the time.
Forever.
That's preached in there by the Gentiles, by the Jews, by everybody. Now, if you want to be a Jew, you go to Israel. You want to be a mixture, you stay here. You get it?
Which should you choose?
What did you choose?
I chose to become Jewish.
All right. She chose to be Jewish, and a lot of Jewish men become to be Gentiles. It goes both ways, that's why I say, in these countries,
Is it a mixture?
European or Asian here, the religion gets lost between the people. Between the people. She got lost between me. You lost between the Jewish people. And a Jewish people becomes Gentile, he got lost between the Gentile people.
I see. The difference in the mixtures. You can, in other words, I gave up and lost whatever I was raised in
Yeah.
to become Jewish.
I believe to do good to people, that's all I believe in. If it's Jewish or Catholic or Protestant, I don't care who he is. He's a human being. That's what Jesus Christ preached. He preached that. He didn't care who it is. Come, you all to me. You all come to me, he said.
True.
He didn't ask you what, who, and how.
No, he
He
didn't care what
teach
color
them,
you were. what
show them the
you were.
religion, teach them, and that's all. And he was a good Jew, very good Jew. He was one of the biggest rabbis of the big temple. One of the biggest rabbis in the temple. That's why we got it in our books.
Over in Israel, there isn't much mixture. What happens in Israel when you decide to mix your marriage?
You can't get no marriage there, mixture.
None whatsoever?
Either you become a
Even
Jew,
with being converted?
huh?
Even with being converted?
I think they do if you get converted,
Orthodox.
Orthodox. You go to the rabbi, and they got a very big say on the government. See, Benzi, he went there so many times to Israel, couldn't get a divorce. And
Okay.
he wanted to give money. He couldn't get a divorce. He has to have a good reason to get a divorce. I think there is the biggest reason that if adultery. If you catch him with adultery, he gets a divorce right away. But I don't believe in a lot of things in Israel. In Israel, it's not everything so kosher, you know, with the laws. They should change the laws according to the years, according to
The time.
the times. It's a lot of things which is, they have to make it easier. Times has changed.
But in making the laws and the rules easier in the religion, don't you feel as though that might be a good excuse
They
for
already,
saying, my religion has changed, I don't understand it and I'm leaving it?
look, it says you shall not work on Saturday, right?
Yeah.
Don't light fire on Saturday. Don't
No.
you think they do it in Israel?
No work, no cooking, no...
Some.
But they do it in Israel. How could they run a country in Shabbos? Lights has to burn.
They don't have someone come in that lights the lights.
Well, some do.
If it's
but
a Jewish
they're
land, there's no more, it's all Jewish. How are they going to get?
They don't have goyim comes in
They
lights?
have going, but just in generally, He can even tell a guy do this. Might as well you do it if you tell him what to do. It's a lot of things here. A country has to be run.
You're not supposed to tell them what to do. They're supposed to know.
Didn't they go on them Shabbos to fight?
There's no other
Right.
choice on that.
No.
What do you mean?
No.
No excuses.
You've got to fight for your
That's not-
country and your life.
Well,
It's a lot of things I'll show you has to be changed.
well, I want to ask, Peggy, do you think that Papa Sam has changed with the times? Have you seen him change?
He's changed
For the better?
for the better.
He could change with the time.
I'm not vitamin B.
You-
Vitamin B never changes.
They don't make it anymore, do they?
Yeah.
Red top, Wiedemann, that's the
Not
cheapest
red
beer,
top.
isn't it?
Not red top, vitamin B.
Cheapest
They
beer you
advertise
can
on TV. Vitamin B never changes. It's always good as the first one. Yeah.
So I'm gonna ask Peggy, do you think Papa Sam could live year 2100 or 1700? Does it matter what? He can change with whatever times are.
Oh, I don't know. I don't think I want to say.
You don't want to say, okay.
He'd shake.
I say anything you want. I don't care. I tell the truth. That's all. I tell the way I feel it is. I can't tell difference. Because you could have a different opinion, she could have a different opinion.
Yeah.
I have this opinion. Me and Peggy passed by there in Israel where Jesus Christ had his Last Supper.
I was there in 1960.
You saw that place too?
Yes, it was a small,
A
I
little
thought it was
house.
real big,
Yeah.
but they're little pillars.
A big lot, a big lock on it too. A lock. And it says there, Mukim Kudesh, holy place. And the Jewish say it's a holy place. So it must be something about Jesus Christ, no?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We went down on the ground that King David lays. The box, we saw it. She went there too. We
The
went to see
sepulcher?
Abraham. We went to see Abraham's, wherever it is. The Arabs go there too, to Abraham.
But that's the difference. As long as the Jewish occupy it, everyone can see it. But if the Arabs occupy, the Jews don't get to see it.
No, I don't mean that. What is the Arabs got to go and see Abraham? To pray by Abraham's tomb. You don't know, huh?
No.
I know. Abraham had two sons. One was Arab and one was the Jews. He had one child with a servant girl because his wife told him to go sleep with her. He should have a child. He didn't have no children. And after she became close to 100 years, she had a kid. So his wife said, send her away. I don't want her here. My son to associate with the other son from a servant girl. You know, chutzpah. So he sent her away.
Difficult situation.
And from there comes the Arab nation. So the Arabs pray to Abraham just like we do. They got the same right as their father too. And still, when they go outside, they want to kill each other. You see?
When they're through with praying, they get the swords.
I studied that in the Hebrew school. Oh, I'm telling you. Such a mixed deals.
Are you planning to go to Israel again?
Well, how many times was I there already?
I don't know.
I was gonna go with him, but I can't keep up with him.
Oh, probably.
It starts in January that you could go to Israel and back from Indianapolis for $597.
Super cheap.
And if I go
From
with him, we have a
Indianapolis.
place to stay.
Huh?
If I go with you, we have a place to stay.
Yeah, big deal.
But where would you like to go? I mean, in the world?
I can't go. I saw everything there. What will I see again?
He wants to go to
You
California.
see it soon as
California?
you see trouble there too, believe me. You see trouble there too. Even in Israel, you got plenty call girls. In Israel, the Holy Land.
So who goes over there looking for him?
Him.
You're supposed to be looking for Masada and whatnot.
Song
Well,
song.
you're
We've been
saying
there.
that
I've been
it's
there.
all
Yeah.
changed.
So once you've seen them, you go for call girls.
So why not? Man go there, the wives at home, they call girl. No, they call you. Hence you saw them all of them. Hence you watched them in Israel. Outside by the hotels.
She kept her eye on her father too.
But where would you like to go in this world? You've been to a lot of places. Where would you like to go?
No place anymore. Like I used to want to go any place. Just go away, travel. Now, I don't want to go no place. I'm tired.
What are your thoughts about death? Do you have any?
What?
Death.
Death?
Is
Who
there,
said
Yeah.
that?
Death.
is there
When
a
you die.
heaven? Is there a heaven or a
Who
hell?
said that?
Nobody come to prove me.
Okay.
Nobody come back, is it?
No.
I asked the rabbi, how come you don't come back? You preach, you say this, you say that, the Geneiden, I says, where is the Geneiden? I want to know where. Nobody come back. He says, it's so good that they don't want to come back. So I don't want to go there. See, I talk a lot with Rabbi Gray, you know.
Yes.
We go round and round.
And you told me when you went to Israel, you were taking bets on the plane, what time the plane would land or something.
I took what?
Bets on when the plane would land, the time the plane would land in Israel.
When was that?
I don't know, a few years ago, 4 or 5 years ago.
Oh,
you were
well,
out.
how can that be?
He laughed because you were taking bets on what time.
Bets?
Bets, or what time the plane would land, or something to that effect.
He tries to live it, you know. He just tries, you know. Because I told him once, whenever I shake hands with you, I'm going to cut my 5 fingers. If I still got it.
Don't wear a ring when you shake hands with me.
So,
See, he always kibbutzes with me about those things, you know.
well, we'll getting late, so we'll conclude this session, and we'll continue it another time.
Well, you got everything you want to know.
Not everything,
Not everything.
just scratch the surface.
Oh,